Meet me. Welcome back, boys, to another episode of Should You Pull. I'm going to start trying to do these for every single banner. Sometimes I haven't been recording it because I figured it's pretty obvious, but I found out from my analytics that a lot of people watch these, and I guess that shouldn't be a surprise, especially for a lot of the newer players who don't really understand the meta yet and they want some guidance on whether these heroes are good or not. So I will try my best to always do these should you pull banners for every single banner now, regardless of whether they have a top tier hero on it or not. So today we're going to talk about Celine, Flan, and we already talked about ML Kawerik, so we're only going to spend about 5 seconds on him. Basically, he's a skip, but let's start with Celine. So Celine, is she a must pull? Nope. She is definitely not a must pull. She is a solid counterpick hero, but honestly, she's fallen off. Not even fallen off. She's never really been that popular. She was always just like a counterpick play. The problem with Celine is her S2, right? That's the main reason that people use her. When someone uses a non-attack skill, she can give herself a self-attack buff if she has her artifact, and then basically just one-shot a DPS. Back then, this was very strong because most cleaves revolved around Oxlots and Cdom. So basically, they couldn't use any of their pushing abilities because if they did, they would lose someone. Although some cleavers got around that by pushing something like a T-Surin or an Arbiter or an LQC where you don't really care if they get hit or if they die. So even back then, there were ways to get around her. But nowadays, she's not really that strong against cleave because most cleavers, and we'll talk about it more with the next hero, don't really revolve that much around non-attack skills. There's a lot of like Politis and Cerise and things like that. CDOM, she still kind of shuts down, but still. And a lot of people will now use the exclusive artifact that does not target the highest attack person, because again, that does get baited by things like T-Cern and stuff like that. But nonetheless, in PvE, she's pretty much useless. She just has like single target damage, and her passive isn't really all that important. In PvP, she is a solid counter to the old school classic cleave, but not very useful against the new style like multi-DPS teams, many of which don't have any non-attack skills to begin with. So I would say for newer players, easy skip. She is a waifu though, so do what you gotta do. For those of you who don't know, this is Karen's mom, apparently. She looks like the same age as her though. Alright, Flan, is she a must pull? Also probably a no. She is actually a pretty top tier hero if you like cleaving, right? But the thing is, if you're a newer player, you probably shouldn't be cleaving all that much anyway, because what do really strong cleave teams need? A lot of speed. And you probably don't have that if you're a newer player, in which case cleave is probably not a great option for you because you're going to be rolling the dice every time, and if you get outsped, you lose. Now, before her buffs, she was pretty ass in my opinion, mostly because she didn't have a dispel, so you had to run her with something else anyway. But now, with the way that they changed her, I actually don't like her changes because it basically just made her a much better A Tywin, right? Why? Because their kit is essentially the same. Tywin has the Soulburn on the S3 to AoE defense break, and then he can push and give a attack buff. What does Flan do? She gives an AoE defense break and unhealable and a 15% combat readiness reduction, so literally better than Tywin's in every way. You can argue that it doesn't do damage like Tywin's, but it also means that it can't miss or counter attacks or anything like that, which is way more important in my opinion. And now her S2 does the exact same thing as not A Tywin, regular Tywin's, except it also gives critical hit damage buff, which means your cleaver does a lot more damage than they would if they were being used with Tywin. So I don't like it when they do things like this with heroes, because to me, basically, they're the same hero except one is much better. So Blue Tywin was kind of unique back in the day, right? He had a AoE defense break into a CR push and attack buff and crit buff, which made him a very, very powerful hero to use. But now he's kind of just garbage compared to Flan. So if you do like cleaving a lot, Flan is a very, very good choice, boys. Like, I know when I run into, when I do RTA, Light loves this hero, and he has murked me with her quite a few times. I mean, no one should underestimate an AoE defense break into an attack and crit damage buff. But again, if you're not cleaving, and especially if you don't care about PvP anyway, again, a very, very easy skip. But I don't want to give you guys the impression that this is a bad hero, because it absolutely isn't. She's quite a boss. Kawerik, we already talked about him. Basically, skip him unless you have a lot of resources, because in his current state, he's pretty garbage in my opinion. I did pull him, and I did build him a little bit, so maybe I'll experiment with him in mock lobbies or something. I do join a lot of mock RTA lobbies and just clown around, so you guys might have run into me in one of those. But in general, his kit is pretty garbage and straight up not worth it. So that's the Should You Pull video, and as an added little bonus, we're going to do some pulls today. So we are in Channel Nuts already. We're going to give it a few meeps, and we have these element summons and a few moonlight summons. So as a little bonus, let's wrap it up with those, and let's get our Clurry. Maybe we can get some cool imprints. Nope. Armin. And we do have one of these special summons. Alright, so let's get what do I want? What do I want out of this? I want a Luluka. My TM Luluka still doesn't have any imprints. Come on, baby. Nope. 4-star. So we get a Zerato. Okay. Moonlight summons, boys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 is the lucky number here. Alright, so we're not going to skip the Moonlight summons so that we give Biblios time to come back from the bathroom and give us that sweet, sweet ML5. Okay, that one is not an ML5. But this final one, I'm feeling it. Do we finally get a Tywin? Yes. Doesn't look like an Tywin, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Alright, so Moonlight summons trash confirmed. So anyways, we'll wrap this video up there. I hope this helped you newer players out if you were trying to debate on whether you want to pull for these. Again, probably a lot of collabs and collabs, I don't know, how do you say that? Collaborations. And summer units coming soon, so I would say for most players the wisest choice is to skip all of these, save your bookmarks, and go ham on the super cool new units that are probably going to come out soon. So anyways, thanks for watching this short video. Best of luck if you do decide to summon anyway. Until next time, peace out, boys.